Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So for today's workout we have a dumbbell only lower body workout with focus on the glutes, of course. As all of my workouts start out with a mobility warm-up, I'm just going to speed this up on speed times 2 just to kind of quickly show you what I'm doing for a nice, quick, and effective mobility warm-up. I'll just do some leg swings, some hamstring stretch, some hip stretch, some deep squats, and focus on any areas that I feel need a little extra TLC, a little extra warming up. So yeah, I will get done with the warm-up and I usually incorporate a 10-minute incline walk on the treadmill as well, and then I move into my workout. So for today's workout, I have 2 dumbbells. One is a 40-pound weight, one is a 60-pound weight, and I'm also including that LifewithLariss medium resistance band for a few exercises. This entire workout will be in this little corner that I am standing in right now, so you don't need much space and you don't need much equipment. So if you want to just use the one dumbbell, the band is optional. Yeah, you really don't need much equipment to get this great workout in. So I'm starting out with a little quote-unquote glute activation, aka just a little extra glute warm-up. Starting off with these body weight exercises. I'm doing 10 reps of each exercise and I'm going through it 3 times. So I just like to make sure my body is really nice and warmed up before I go into those weighted exercises. Prepping your body properly will just make for a more effective and, in all honesty, just a better workout. You'll get proper range of motion, you will prevent injury, and yeah, warm up and cool down are very important, so make sure you guys are not neglecting those. Okay, so once the warm-up is complete, I will grab my weights and go into those working sets. So here I am starting off with a sumo stance dumbbell squat. For all of these exercises, I am aiming for about 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps per exercise. So I am definitely one to be taking my shoes off in the gym. I don't be walking around in the gym barefoot, okay? I have a little bit of respect when it comes to that. I just take my shoes off if I'm working out on a mat and kind of like keeping to myself. Yeah, it just makes such a big difference in my lifts. Going flat foot. I don't have specific lifting shoes, so if you have lifting shoes, maybe you can speak to this a little bit differently than I can, but I prefer to lift barefoot. It just, honestly, I feel so much better. I feel so much more stable. I feel like I can lift heavier weights. I feel like my body just moves through these exercises so much more optimally, and I feel like I get more out of the workout. So try it out if you haven't before, but if it's just not your thing, that's totally okay. In all honesty, every time I do it, I'm like, do feel a little awkward. But like I said, I try to keep to myself when I do this. All right, so first superset was those sumo squats with goblet squats. So here's just another angle. You can see my feet are nice and wide, slightly wider than shoulder width apart. My toes are angled outwards, and I'm sitting back nice and low and squeezing those glutes as I stand up. For these goblet squats, I'm holding that weight nice and close to my chest. Same thing, sitting the hips back nice and low. For this, since the weight is loaded at the front of my chest, I'm going to make sure my core is engaged so it prevents my chest from falling forward. And any compound lift, you want to make sure your core is nice and engaged. Superset number 2, I am doing Romanian deadlifts, almost, in all honesty, almost a stiff leg deadlift. Really targeting those hamstrings and that under glute area. Keeping my back nice and flat, again, core engaged, keeping the weight in my heels and squeezing my glutes as I stand up. We are really targeting the hamstrings with this superset. I am going to immediately move into some good mornings, loading that weight at my chest. I found these dumbbells are a little awkward to hold on my shoulders, so I'm just holding it nice and close to my chest. If you want to hold it on your upper trap area or on your shoulders, then feel free. If the dumbbells are shaped a little bit differently, if they're smaller, just however you feel more comfortable. But this was more comfortable for me. So again, core engaged. You're going to hear me say that a lot during this video. Core is engaged for this, especially since that weight is loaded in sort of an awkward area of your body. You can easily like tweak your back during this exercise. So you want to make sure form is on point before you start increasing the weight. All right, here I am doing a couple sets of single leg RDL. So I am putting one hand on the wall for a little extra added support. All of my weight is loaded into that main leg, and then I have my back leg propped up on its toe just for a little extra support and balance. I want to focus of keeping that weight in the heel. Again, core nice and tight. Think of pushing your hips back as far as they can go and only lower that weight as low as you can while maintaining a flat back. So if you notice that around mid-shin or anything lower than mid-shin, your shoulders start rounding, your back starts arching or rounding a little bit forward just to get closer to the ground, you want to stop there. So stop and then move back up only as deep as you can go while maintaining a flat back. You really don't want to compromise form just to go a little bit deeper into this exercise. I then moved into more RDLs, so lots of RDLs in this workout. When I'm doing a workout where I can't really load a lot of weight, so similar to like body weight workouts or lightweight workouts or just minimal equipment workouts period, I think of volume. So lots of exercises or lots of reps or lots of sets. This one I would consider it a fairly low set range. So I have a couple extra exercises than I would do if this was like a barbell workout where I can really challenge myself with the weight. But since I'm not really feeling super challenged with the weight here, I thought about increasing volume in terms of adding a few extra exercises. So it's going to look like I'm doing a lot of exercises, but in reality, completing these supersets didn't take me too much time because, like I said, I wasn't really challenged with the weights. A few things I did to increase intensity was, like I just said, add volume with more exercises. And I decreased rest periods. So I didn't need a full 2-minute rest period between each of these supersets. So I just opted for about 45 seconds to about a minute between these supersets. So completing the supersets didn't take me too long. It's probably gonna look like I'm doing a whole bunch of exercises, but this workout actually only took me about 45 minutes, which I think is a really perfect time frame for completing a workout, especially if you're a busy individual and you don't have a free 2 hours to be spending in the gym. So after those single leg RDLs and the RDLs, I moved into some glute bridges. So I am doing one set of single leg glute bridges per leg, and then I am also doing both legs at the same time. So this is a little bit of a tri set. I did a warm-up set without any weight, and then here you can see I am loading weight. So these dumbbells are kind of like big and awkward. I just found that this was the best way to hold the weight on my leg. If another way works better for you, then obviously go right ahead. But here I am doing about 8 to 10 reps per leg, and then I'll aim for about 10 to 12 for when both of my feet are on the floor and I'm doing regular glute bridges. All right, ending off the leg portion of this workout with reverse lunges. So here I am holding the dumbbell on the same side as my supporting leg. I honestly kind of alternate back and forth between what side I like holding the dumbbell on, but today I was just kind of vibing with holding the weight on the working leg side. So I did about 8 reps per leg, and again, like I said, kept the rest period nice and short between legs. So I did them back to back, so my left leg right after my right leg, and then I would take a short rest period, and then I would complete my 2 other sets. So this is the last leg exercise, and we will be moving into core shortly. All right, moving into the core portion of this workout, I am going to put this on speed times 2 just so I can let the entire thing play and I can kind of talk through it. So I'm doing each exercise for 30 seconds if you saw me hold my timer out, and I keep looking at my phone just to check the time. I'm starting out with dead bug hold, and then I'm moving into these marches, really focusing on pushing my low back into the floor. So my core workouts right now are focused on healing my pelvic floor. I am 6 months postpartum with my second baby, so I am focusing on healing my core, kind of putting my core muscles back together, and also strengthening my deep core muscles because I do feel like they are very weak right now. I also feel like I have a little bit of diastasis recti. I always struggle saying that name. I don't even know if I pronounced it correctly, but I will put it on the screen. But basically that's when your abs are separated and they are not connected in the middle of your abdomen. So I feel like I have a little bit of separation, and I'm just focusing on bringing those core muscles back together. So I am doing a lot of deep core muscles here, and I'm really trying not to do any typical ab exercises that will make my core situation any worse. So that is what I'm focusing on right now while I am doing core exercises. But that was it for today's workout. I really hope you guys enjoy. If you try it out, let me know, comment on this video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.